part 2 of the chapter 6 review. We are on page 260 in our book, and we'll be going through the questions from your online quiz that match the questions in your book. Question 1 about Debbie. Debbie made this array to model a division equation. Which equation did Debbie model? Mark all that apply. So there is more than one answer. So you have to really think of this as 4 separate questions. So this array here, and I can take a look at it a little darker down here. This array matches what? I can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. All right, so is 4 by 7, that means I'm going to have 7, 14, 21, 28. I'm going to have 28, right? 4 times 7. So I do have 28 total squares in this array. So that's kind of my fact family that I'm looking for. So if I'm thinking 14 divided by 7 equals 2, while that's true, it doesn't match this picture. So it's not A. A is not a choice. B is 28 divided by 4 equals 7. Well, yeah, there's 28 squares broken into groups of 4 equals 7. B is an answer choice, so I would click B down here. Now C, 28 divided by 7 equals 4. Well, yeah, there's 28 squares. I can have 7 columns, and it's 4 in each column. C also works. There's 2 answer choices. For D, 14 divided by 2 equals 7. Well, there's not 14 total. My whole there is not 14, so that one doesn't work. The correct answers are B and C. This one was tricky for a lot of students. So we've got our whole shown here. I'm just going to recreate it so it's a little easier, is 40, right? And there's 5 and 5 here. So it says Mrs. Edwards made a total of 40 fingers on some gloves. And here's our 40 that she knitted. How many gloves did Mrs. Edwards knit? Now they're assuming we know that there are 5 fingers in each glove. So 5 fingers create 1 glove, right? So how many gloves? Here's 1 glove. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I can break it up evenly, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 gloves. So she was able to make 8 gloves, knit 8 gloves. Because 40 fingers broken into groups of 5 is 8. We're on page 260. And now we're on question 13. It's a lot like yesterday's first one, okay? Those properties of division. So make true equations. Use the numbers from the drop-down list to complete each equation. 7 divided by 7. And I'm thinking I used fish yesterday. If I have 7 fish, here's my 7 fish, and I'm going to break my 7 fish up into 7 groups. 7 broken into groups of 7. Here's one group of 7 equals 1. Any number divided by itself equals 1. 1. You have to do the pull down. This is like 3 questions in one here. So now the second question, 7 divided by 1. If I take my 7 fish and I divide them into groups of 1, here's a group of 1, 2 groups of 1, 3 groups of 1, 4 groups of 1, 5 groups of 1, 6 groups of 1, 7 groups of 1, right? I've got 7 groups. 7 broken into groups of 1 is 7. So I'm going to answer 7. All right, so that's the second part. And then the last part, 0 divided by 7. If I have 0 fish and I break them into groups of 7, or 7 groups, 0 fish broken into 7 groups, I will just have 7 empty fish bowls, right? So 0 broken into 7 groups is going to be 0. The coach separated the 18 players at lacrosse practice into 3 different groups. How many players were in each group? So I know I've got 3 groups and I've got 18 players total, right? So I've got to break them up. So I can, my easiest way, not the fastest, but is just to put 1 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I can physically break them up with tallies. And I see how many are in. Hold up how many are in each group. How many players are in each group? I see it, Haley. I see it, Ella. Yes. We've got 6. 6 in each group. Page 261 right now. And here's number 15. This is the repeated subtraction. And you have to make a division sentence to go with this. So if I'm starting with 32, that's actually going to be the first number. That's the biggest number I've got. 32 divided by, now I'm going to subtract 8. And that gives me 24. Then that 24 goes up. I'm going to subtract 8 again because I'm subtracting groups of 8, right? I'm just copying the picture. And 8 minus 8 is 0. So when you get to 0, you're done. But I want to know what other numbers in my division sentence, because I'm always going to start with my biggest number. And I can even see in my pull down, right? It kind of helps me. 32 divided by something equals 4. Well, I can see I subtracted 4 times, right? I did 4 subtraction problems. But what did I subtract each time? A group of 8. So oh, good, I see it. Apollo, yes, I see your fingers. You're showing me. So I subtracted 8 at a time. So 32 divided by 8 equals 4. And I wanted to force you to put 8 there, so that's why I put the 4 in the answer there. And just think about multiplication and division. Think about these fact families. So that will help you with your division problems. And like Mrs. Powell, I think, had said, especially in 3rd grade math, we always start with the biggest number first. Fill in the blanks, write one of the related multiplication facts. So for this one, we have to look at the array, and I can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 going across. And I can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going down. And so this array, I need to have a multiplication problem to match it, right? So if I have 6 rows and 6 columns, then it's going to be 6 times 6. And raise your hand if you know what 6 times 6 is. What is our product? Let's see, Haley, go ahead. Haley, go ahead.
36.
36. 6 times 6 is 36. All right. So we wrote one multiplication. Now number 7 is asking us a division, right? Division fact. And we just talked about that your big number, your whole number is going to go at the front. So it's going to be 36 divided by, and this one's a little weird because the 2 factors from the multiplication are both 6. So 36 divided by 6 equals 6, right? If I took 36 and I broke it into 6 groups, here's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups. 36 divided by 6 equals, there's 6 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? I'm a little slower at math. So if you are getting this like rapid fire and I'm going too slowly for you, I'm sorry. I like to draw it out and really see it. I was super impressed. You guys did great thinking about Darius with his muffins. Your reasoning on number 8 and 9 was great. So we want to know, how many friends does Darius share his 18 muffins with? How many muffins does each friend get? Remember, he gives each friend an equal number of muffins. And note, there are several possibilities for this question. So explain at least one solution you came up with using words in a sentence. And you can also, in the quiz, describe a picture you may have made, use X's to show equal groups, or even upload and embed a photo that you took showing your answer in the space provided. So if he has 18 muffins that he gives his friends, and he's giving each one an equal number, I mean, he could have, if I make a little T-chart, right? If I could put number friends, and number of muffins. I know that the total is 18. He's not going to get more than 18 muffins. If he had one friend, that friend would get 18 muffins. If he had 2 friends, how many would each friend get? 8 and P, I see it. Yep, 9. Most of you answered that he had 3 friends. And if he had 3 friends, how many muffins would each friend get? He would get 6, 12, 18. I see it, Freda. Each friend would get 6. What if he had 4 friends? This is the part B. Could he divide those muffins evenly between 4 friends? Doesn't work. Because you could give each one 6 muffins, 6, 12, 18, and you run out. If you gave him 5, 10, 15, 20, you don't have enough muffins. So you can't give them 4, right? But you could flip these around. You could have 6 friends. If he had 6 friends, how many muffins would each friend get? You could just flip it around. Each friend could get 3 muffins. What if he had 9 friends? If he had 9 friends, how many muffins would each friend get? 2 muffins. And if he had 18 friends, then he had a big party, then each friend would get just 1 muffin. So any of those would be correct answers. Put 1, 2, 3, if I want to show my muffins, 3 muffins to 6 friends. I could show that. 3 muffins for each of 6 friends, right? And that would work. You showed it. So for part B, we just said, looking at this chart, he could not because 4 friends would not have an even number. Felix Holt here. I liked how he answered it. He busted into decimals. Felix, I was impressed with your answer. He said, no, he couldn't give them an even number. It would be 4.5 per friend. He put decimals in there, so that was pretty awesome. For the quiz on the computer, it's the same picture for number 10 and number 11, but for this question, we're completing the fact on the left. So which number from this box times 8 equals 72? So what do we think? Is it 9 times 8 is 72? 7 times 8 is 72? Not 64 times 8. That would be a huge number. And 80 times 8 would also be a huge number. So is it 9 times 8 or 7 times 8? Can you guys?
Finley, I just wanted to point something out to them. It can't be 80 because the total is 72. So 80 is already more than that. So that one's what you would call a throwaway problem.
Yeah. This one, these are like throwaways or distractors. They're just trying to confuse you. So these could definitely not be, because 64 or 88 times would be way bigger than 72. Oh, Ella, you got it. This is my favorite multiplication fact. 9 times 8 is 72. So we could roll our 8s, roll our 9s. You could do it either way. You could do the 9s trick. If you put your 9s trick and then put your 8th finger down, then you can see it, 72. So on question 11, we're answering now for the right. Now this is kind of the fact family. So this is now for number 19 in your, still number 18 in your book. But 72, 9, and 8, they're a fact family. So 9 times 8 equals 72. But if you turn it into the division related fact, putting that whole number, that biggest number, 72 first, you could do 72 divided by 9 equals 8, or 72 divided by 8 equals 9. So we just have to look at our drop-down menu here. 72 divided by, it's got to be 9 because they gave us the answer is 8. And this is another one of those related multiplication and division facts. So it says type in the numbers to best complete the one related multiplication fact. Oh, facts, I have a typo. So something times 9 equals something, right? We're going to have our part times our part equals our whole. Rebecca, what do you think it is?
I know the answer.
What do you think?
I think right there you should put the 5.
Okay.
And then you can count by 5s, and then you'll get your answer as 45.
All right, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I just counted by 5s 9 times and got 45. So it was just asking for the multiplication fact. These are a little small, so if it was really tiny for you to see and hard to see, sorry, that's how the screen is. If we have 5 times 9 equals 45, to turn it into the related division fact, we're going to move the big number to the front. So now it's 45 divided by something equals something, but they already told us it's equals 5. So it has to be 45 divided by 9. And you're just putting those in a different order, but it's division, so we put our biggest number first, our whole number first. Tyrone took 16 pennies from his bank and put them in 4 equal stacks. Each circle represents one of the equal stacks. How many pennies did Tyrone put in each stack? Show your work. So you can't show your work on here, but we need to figure out how many are in there. So hopefully you drew it out. I just start putting 1 in each because 16 is not such a big number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I got to 16 and I'm stopping. So I can see how many are in each stack, right? He shared them equally. So I can see there's 4 in each stack. All right, I'm going to submit. Auto grading. And it's going to wait for my 2 questions require grading. That means until I get those 2 questions answered, I've got 75%, all right? So in the video, if you want to go back and look at any of these for sure, you can replay it and pause it. Okay, I will have to go in and grade those for our fake student. But yes, we got it.